All right. Good evening. Good evening to everyone tonight. This is Dr. Stephanie McKenny, and we are in our prerequisite to biblical counseling, understanding temperaments. All right. For our Christian counseling segment here at Zoe Fellowship Bible College. So I'm super excited. Tonight, we're going to share a few things to help you get a better understanding of temperaments, how to work with people, and do a little role playing. We're going to have some participation and things of that nature. So, first thing I want to share with you all first, let's pray. Let's pray. And then I'm going to go ahead and share a few things and we'll take it from there. Father, we thank you. We praise you. We magnify your name. We give you glory. We give you honor because you alone are worthy of praise. We thank you for this opportunity, Father, to be able to get understanding, to be taught tonight, to get clarity, Father, to help us on our journey towards the assignment that you have for our lives. I pray that you think through my thoughts and speak through my vocal cords. I pray for understanding tonight and clarity in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, so we're going to go ahead and begin. A few things that I would like to share with you all, and I didn't get a chance to ask if you all got your book, but I'll come back to that in a minute. One of the things that I want you to begin to understand when it comes to understanding temperaments and understanding people. This is our book that we're using. Why You Act the Way You Do. And it talks about the four temperaments. But I want you to understand that when you're working with people, let's say even many of you, I'm sure, are in ministry to some capacity, whether you're in ministry or whether you will be counseling people, understand that we have to realize that you have to like people. Uh-oh, yes. You have to understand and like people. That's what ministry is about, people. It's not about you. It's not really about your gift. It's not about your talent or your ability, but it's really about the people. And I think if we keep in mind that when we're working with individuals and everybody is not the same, everybody is not going to receive the same. Everybody listening tonight is all of you here tonight, but everybody is receiving a different way. I can say one thing and you may hear many different things as I'm sharing. And so it's important for us that we have to like working with people, and that's all kinds of people, not just our people, but all kinds of people. All right. So we've got to be willing to work with all kinds of people. So counseling in itself involves working with people and talking to people about their issues and talking about their problems and their situations that may come up in their lives. And some of you may even continue to pursue social work. You may continue to pursue becoming a licensed professional counselor. That may be something that you may want to do down the line, but it involves talking and encouraging, empowering, and also helping people through and process their problems and their issues. But guess what? Not only helping them, but helping them in a non-judgmental way. Non-judgmental. You know how the scripture says, judge not that you be not judged. Okay, well, listen, you cannot judge these people, okay, because they may come to you and share their deep secrets. They may come to you and share their concerns and their whatever it is they're experiencing. It may be something that is happening with them presently, or it may be something that has taken place years ago and it's coming back up again. And so we have to be non-judgmental. Uh-oh, now y'all got to think about that. And if you are judgmental, you got to pray. You got to ask God, God, help me, that when they come to me, I don't be looking at them like, but you want to be able to be non-judgmental. And guess what? The next thing is you got to have confidentiality. Mm-hmm. I know they're not signing no paper of the confidentiality. I see you wave your hand. Yes, they're not, they may not have signed a paper, or maybe you will have them sign a waiver to let them know that what they're sharing is kept confidential, because you don't want somebody to come to you to share their business. They tell you their business, and then next thing they don't know, they heard it from somebody else, and and then it comes back to no, ma'am, no, sir. So I'm here to tell you, you in the business of helping people, you're gonna be non-judgmental, and you got to implement confidentiality. That is key. All right. Because when people come to you, you must be, there's a few things I want you to think about. This, that when people come to you with their concerns, you must be welcoming. Yeah. You thought this was going to be about the temperance. We're going to talk about the temperance, but we got to talk about the counselor. We got to talk about the person, you, who will be sharing and encouraging them. So you got to be welcoming. You got to be approachable, because people will begin to share and begin to share their concerns when they feel comfortable. All right. So you want to have a safe space. You want to be welcoming. You want to be known that someone that is not judgmental, and someone that will implement confidence. My dad used to say, when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to you. In other words, that meant, that don't mean you telling so and so down the road. I'm talking to you. All right. So you want to make sure that that is something that you begin to implement. Now, I want you to also understand that you've got to be an active listener. Sometimes you think counseling is talking all the time. Sometimes counseling is just sitting still and listening to what the person is sharing. And so active listening is that you are giving them your undivided attention, and you are allowing them to express how they feel, not throwing a scripture at them all right away. Sometimes people just need you to listen, whether they're angry, whether they're depressed, whether they're discouraged, whether they're frustrated. Sometimes they just need to get it out. They need to, some people call it venting. Sometimes they just need to vent. And so you want to be approachable. You want to be welcoming so that they can begin to share these things with you. Another thing I want to emphasize too is know when to refer somebody. Okay, know when to refer somebody. For what I understand, everybody here that I heard tonight, you are not counselors. I heard one a lady say that she is moving into the social work. Okay, that's, you know, that's a little different kind of moving into the social aspect. But nobody in here is, that I heard, was a licensed professional counselor or social worker. Okay, so you've got to know when to refer these people to a professional. You know, you cannot handle what they are sharing. They are suicidal. They want to kill themselves to do those things. So you need to know to refer out. There's a suicide, nerve them to go to the hospital. Sometimes people are suicidal. They got to go to the emergency. You can't play with somebody say, I want to kill myself. And you ain't gonna say, well, they just saying that, they just trying to get this. No, 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 no. Anytime somebody come in the office, they say they want to kill themselves. I don't care if they're playing or whatever. No, you're going to get a call. All right, listen, I need you to come get so and so and so and so, because they said that they want to end their life. Okay. And even when you're talking to people and they say they want to end their life, what you can ask them is, do you have a plan? Do you intend to do this? And if they just say, no, these are just my thoughts, but still refer that. Okay. Don't play with that. Don't play with that. Okay. I don't care if it's a family member, cousin, or somebody in your church or whatever. Don't play when people talk about they want to end their life. Okay. So that's the little beginning part. Now, let me ask you this. How many of y'all have your book? If you can raise your hand, okay. I see one hand. I see one hand. Everybody got the book. Okay, that's all right. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. Okay. All right, Mr. Hunter Rivers. I see your hand. I just shared one person, and then we're going to move into our different temperaments.
I got my book too.
Am I wrong for taking Jason back? You live a fake life. I don't. You and Jason stuck it through, and you stayed there because
I'm like that.
Space. So what are you saying? You think that?
Can anyone hear anything?
No, I think she froze.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, she froze. I don't know what happened.
Okay. Okay. Y'all hear me?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? It said that my connection was going out. And it said a bad connection, so I apologize for that. So tell me who has their book, and then we'll go over a few things. I know Brother Darren.
And
I have the PDF.
You got the PDF, okay.
Yes.
And I have my book, Sister Rivers.
You have your book. Okay, Jacqueline, you have yours?
So Dr. Mandy, what I was gonna say is if they have an iPhone, you can go on there. There's an app called Books, and they can see the first part of that book on tonight.
Okay, okay, good. And Miss Kathy, do you have yours?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. All right. So we're going to go over a little bit. That's fine. We'll go over a little bit because what we were supposed to read tonight was chapter 1 and 2, but I know you got your syllabus a little late. So it probably wasn't enough time to get the book, but that's fine. So we're going to go over the 4 temperaments, and the 4 temperaments that are talked about in this book are the sanguine, choleric, melancholy, and phlegmatic. All right. Those are the 4 different temperaments, okay, that the book talks about. And in the beginning of the book, it really talks about those types of temperaments and those type of traits and those type of behaviors. It's a combination, temperaments are a combination of traits we inherited from our parents, things that we learned and things that we gleaned from as we began to grow up. So our traits, the traits that we have are stem from, as noted in this theory, about the 4 temperaments. So sanguine, choleric, melancholy, and phlegmatic. All right. And so the book talks about the different types of temperaments and their traits. Often it talks about the sanguine is talkative. He is excited. He is the life of, or he or she is the life of the party, or she's the one, or he's the one that brings the excitement in church and the one that kind of gathers everybody around. So the choleric is the one that is orderly. They are to the point. They are, they're in control. They are also impulsive. Okay. The melancholy is more so, they are the thinkers. Self-pity, they have self-pity. They often sometimes have depressed thoughts, or they are perfectionists. Okay. And the phlegmatic is more so the procrastinators, or they are indecisive, or they're kind of laid back, that type, kind of calm. And so with that, you have to realize that there's different types of traits that people have. And as I shared before, that even though you have these 4 categories of people, you're going to counsel them or talk with them in different ways, even though they may have a similar situation. But you may not talk to that particular sanguine the same way you may talk to a person that is phlegmatic. And it's just like And that goes back to even with us as Christians, to be able to discern, what type of person this is and their character and how they handle things, or how they are receptive to things. Because some people you can talk to, some people you have to be serious with. I know maybe there's some people you talk to, you have to be serious with them. And then there are some people where you can be serious, but you can cut a little joke here and there if you need to. And they're receptive to that. Okay. So you got to know what temperament, know who you're talking to, and know how to handle those particular people, because there's going to be different kinds of people. Everybody's not going to be like you or be like how you want them to be, but you have to be able to share with individuals where they are. Okay, you can't handle everyone the same. All right, so what I wanted to do is let's see who I got. All right, Miss Kathy, are you still? Let's see. I want us to kind of read. I think mine, it says page 15. Okay, Miss Kathy's not there. Who else has a book? Oh, here she comes. Miss Kathy, are you able to pull up in your book? As I said, when you read chapter 1, you're going to read about how these temperaments influence everything that we do. Now, as you're reading this book, you will also may find or pick or select your temperament. All right. So there's going to be a temperament that you have. And then the second chapter talks about a combination of temperaments, because everybody's not going to just be put in 4 categories. All right. So chapter 2 talks about how each temperament is joined together and what causes that person to act the way they do based on those temperaments. All right, Miss Kathy, and I don't know if you have I have the little pocketbook, but page 15, communication skills and temperament, does that show on your book?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. If you could read that paragraph, and this is, like I said, the first chapter is talking about the temperaments influence everything we do. So they break down in categories of how your temperament affects your handwriting, your study habits, your eating habits, how you drive, and how you learn, and all of those things. So in this particular section here, it's talking about your communication skills and your temperament. All right, Miss Kathy, if you could read that for us, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Thinking skills and communication skills are not based solely on the brain. They also involve temperament. Sanguines are intuitive. They are overly expressive and use exaggeration. Cholerics are extroverted enough to speak freely, but usually are more deliberate than sanguine. They are debaters and arguers. No one can be more biting or sarcastic. Alex never start talking until they have thought out precisely what they want to say. They don't like to interrupt others, but once they get started, they go on until they have unloaded their entire message. Addicts are quiet about everything and seldom enter into debates or thrust themselves into conversation. They will respond to questions with wit and good humor, but rarely volunteer anything unless asked. Peter was told, "Your speech always betrays you." That's in Matthew 26:73. That is often true of your temperament. Your speech patterns are a giveaway of your temperament.
All right. So it talks again about the communication. Thank you so much for reading. Thank you so much for reading. Communication skills when it comes to those in different temperaments. All right. So the sanguines, as you said, intuitive speakers, they are overly expressive, and they use exaggeration. I don't know, maybe some people are coming to mind as I'm sharing about, and as she read. Cholerics are extroverted enough to speak freely, but they're more deliberate. They are debaters and arguers. Okay, they are more biting or sarcastic. Melancholics never start talking until they have thought out precisely what they want to say. You know, maybe there's individuals that you know, or maybe you are one, that before you start talking, you ain't gonna just blurt nothing out. You're gonna process it. You're gonna make sure you got, you got your words together. You're gonna articulate this thing the right way. So that's how they are when it comes to communication. And then phlegmatics are quiet about everything and seldom enter into debates or thrust themselves into conversations. All right. So it's just showing you the different temperaments and how they handle certain situations. Okay. And so as you begin to learn these temperaments and learn how people operate, how they behave, then you can kind of get a better understanding of how to counsel or how to talk with them or how to encourage them or what to say to them at the appropriate time. All right. Anybody got questions, comments? I'm gonna move on to anything. We're good. Y'all good? Everybody good? Okay. You just give me a thumbs up if you're good. All right, good. All right. So now it talks about also in page 17 and 18, and y'all can jot these pages down for those of you who do not have your book yet. Pages 15, that's what we went over. Of course, we're reading chapters 1 and 2. We're not going to be able to cover everything tonight, but we'll cover as much as we can, and then we'll pick up the next time. But page 15 talks about the communication. And 17 and 18 talks about the parenting skills of those with these 4 temperaments. Okay. So I'll say here about the clerics. Clerics can be good parents, but they have to work at it. They are hard to please at best. And if a child is a late bloomer or less activist temperament, such parents are apt to make her feel inferior and constantly disapprove. Such parents need to encourage children, approve them, and build up their self-image, going out of their way to show their love. So clerics may be one that is more authority prone. And they may dictate to their children, you need to do this, you need to be doing that, you need to get that in order, you need to get that in order, this, that, and other. And how come you ain't do this? And how come you didn't? So what happens when that type of temperament is the dominant temperament, then sometimes their children can feel like they have not been accepted, or they what they're doing is not good enough because it seems like mama or daddy still never approves what I'm doing. And so we got to be careful of that, because sometimes when you have parents that are that way, and let's say you have to counsel a child who often feels like their self-esteem is so low, it could very well be that something they experienced as they were coming up from the parent that always wanted them to be perfect, and that nothing seems to be good enough. You know, people sometimes say it seems like nothing is just good enough for them, you know. And so maybe they have a choleric parent. Okay. So be mindful of that. And then also when you're sharing with people, sometimes they may be talking about their situation where they are right now. But when you're talking with people, because sometimes people will just come to you to talk with you because maybe you are welcoming, and they will talk with you. Talking and counseling is 2 different things. Okay. Because somebody just talking to you and venting and sharing some things, that's something totally different. But when you're talking about counseling someone, you want to give them interventions and skills and things to help them. And counseling is not telling people what to do. Well, I think you ought to do this. Now, that's just you talking to somebody. Well, if I were you, I would do this. But in counseling, you cannot do that. All right. You have to bring awareness to the people of the opportunities that they have or the options that they have and they have to make the selection. Just like if somebody come to you and say they want to leave their spouse, well, you can't tell them I'm a leave. I wouldn't take that if I were you. No, that person has to make that decision. They got to pray. They got to make sure that they're doing the right thing. Now, if it's domestic violence, that's a whole other thing. Girl, get out. Guy, get out. Because some guys get domestic violence too. But if, you know, you can't go in there and say, I would leave if I were you. Okay. That's not counseling. Okay. That's not counseling at all, because a person has to make a conscious decision as to what they will do. They got to pray about it. You guide them to pray about it. When you pray about it. What is God telling you to do? It's not a matter of what I think. It's what do you think, right? Because you want to take it off of you and give it back to them, because it's their responsibility to make the decision. Because if they go by and say, well, Kathy told me and Jacqueline told me to leave, so I left. And then something, you know, then they blame you. I should have stayed with my husband. I should have stayed with my wife, you know. So you want to be mindful of those things. You're not telling anybody to do anything, okay? Because we're not in control of people, okay? People have, we as Christians and believers, we have free choice. God has given us that. And so they have to make a decision, but you're just helping them to make a decision, all right? All right, so the parenting skills, it talks about the temperaments and how their types of skills and what they will do when as parents. Everything a sanguine does in life is spontaneous, and discipline is usually no exception. All right, he is loud in his instruction and correction, and a woman sanguine is apt to be a screamer. Since sanguines are not disciplined themselves, I'm on page 17 for those who want to know. Their threats are rarely carried out. So Johnny knows he never has to answer the first time he is called or told to do something. He waits until the pitch of the scream or the volume of the call gets to a certain intensity before he comes home. All right. So the sanguine is not, they're going to, you know, they're going to cry wolf, but they ain't going to do nothing. They just going to say whatever, but they're not going to follow through. And a child knows that. I don't know if y'all ever experienced that. You know, you tell your child, well, I'm going to get you when you get home. And then when you get home, or when they get home, or you get home, whatever it is, and you don't follow through with what you said, let me tell you, you have taught that child, mama and daddy really ain't going to do nothing. They going to talk a lot. They going to say whatever, but they ain't doing nothing. All right? So we got to be keepers of our word. I'm sure we all have been guilty. I raised my hand. I know I've been guilty of that as well. I didn't say, I'm going to get you when you do. And then they get home. How you doing? You want something to eat? Yeah, all of that. All right. So we got to be mindful of that. So different temperaments are going to cause us to behave different ways. And that's what the point of this particular chapter. I'm gonna say one more thing. Number 19, phlegmatics can be good parents if they learn to be more assertive and confrontational when necessary. I'm on page 19. They are patient personified. They love children and probably feel more comfortable with their children than anyone else. All right. So the phlegmatics are kind of laid back. Okay. They're kind of laid back a little bit, and they are not confrontational. They're not assertive. There may be some people that you know, they're passive aggressive. They're not as assertive, or they don't like confrontation. So therefore, they're going to respond in that way. All right. So we got a few more minutes. Oh my goodness, time goes by so fast. Let's look at page 23. If somebody could get to 23, I want to bring out this point, and then we'll kind of bring it to a close. And as I said, this will give you another opportunity to review a few more things next week for those of you who don't have the book. Page 23. Brother Darren, can you read that? I want you to read the part where it starts off 3 main things: temperament, character, and personality. You see where I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, sir. Please.
Okay. Temperament is the combination of inborn traits that subconsciously affect man's behavior. These traits are arranged genetically on the basis of nationality, race, sex, and other hereditary factors.
Hereditary. Mm-hmm.
These traits are passed on by the genes. Some physiologists suggest that we get more genes from our grandparents than our parents. They could account for the greater resemblance of some children to their grandparents than to their parents. The alignment of temperament traits is just as unpredictable as the color of eyes, hair, and size of body.
Okay, let me stop there. Okay, so that's the temperament. It's the combination of inborn traits that subconsciously affect a man's behavior. Okay, I'm gonna read character, then I'm gonna let you go back to personality. Okay.
Okay.
So character, because it's talking about three things: temperament, character, and personality. So temperament, we understand the inborn traits that subconsciously affects man's behavior. Character is the real you. Okay. The Bible refers to it as the hidden man of the heart. It is the result of your natural temperament modified by childhood training, education, basic attitudes, beliefs, principles, and motivations. It is sometimes referred to as the soul of man, which is made of the mind, emotions, and will. All right. So your character is basically your core beliefs. It is it's you. It's the real you, not the you may try to put out to everybody, but it's the real you, your core. All right. All right. So that's character. All right. Brother Darren, if you personality.
Okay. Personality is the outward expression of ourselves, which may or may not be the same as our character, depending on how genuine we are. Often personality is a pleasing facet for an unpleasant or weak character. Many people go through life acting a part on the basis of what they think they should be or how they want people to see them, rather than as they really are. This is a formula for mental and spiritual chaos. It is caused by following the human formula for acceptable conduct, which places the emphasis on externals. The Bible tells us man looks on the outward appearance, but God looks on the heart. And out of the heart proceeds the issues of life. The place to change behavior is inside man, not outside.
Okay, let's stop there. Now that's it. The place to change man is on the inside. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. When you are sitting down with people and they are sharing, let me tell you, out of the abundance of the heart, you'll hear their heart by the words. You'll be able to locate where people are by what comes out of their mouths. All right. So out of the abundance of the heart. And then it said, very good. Thank you, Brother Darren. And the place to change behavior is the inside. Man looks on the outward appearance, the personality, because we can have a personality. We can put forth whatever we want people to see at that particular time. We could be we could be the clown, and we could be the life of the party. We could be the one that praises God all the time, and we just extra with it and all of that. Or we could just be nasty. So it's whatever you gonna put forth, all right? But what you're putting forth on the outside is coming from the inside. So we got to clean the inside. And so sometimes when you're working with people, you got to deal with what's happening on the inside, their thoughts. I got some videos for y'all to see. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time. The thoughts that they're thinking, what's going on in their mind, and cause them. Because sometimes we wonder, why you act the way you do? Why you acting like that? A lot of times we think about people who are, let's think about students. I used to work at a high school, students, and some of the students had bad behavior and they was nasty. They would just tell people off and cuss them out. And you thinking, what is wrong? And some people will say, they just bad. No, you got to get to the core, because there's a reason why they're lashing out like that. You just getting the outward appearance of what's happening on the inside. So you got to find out there's a reason why that. Because people don't just go around cussing out people left and right and getting angry and all. No, something is going on. And that's their way that they're expressing and crying out for help. All right. Well, I have enjoyed you all tonight. I hope that you got something tonight. I hope that you have enjoyed what has been shared tonight. As I said, we were doing chapter 1 and chapter 2. So next time we'll go over chapter 2 a little bit more, but also read ahead to chapter 3. All right. So that's chapter 2. If you don't have your book, get 1, 2, and 3. All right. And we will be going over that as well. I also will, if I don't send you that video to your emails, we will look at it when we first get on. It talks about the 4 temperance, only about 5 or 6 minutes to give a little more understanding of the 4 temperaments. And chapter 2 is going to talk a little bit more about the combination of those temperaments, because everybody not going to be sanguine and that's it. It may be sanguine and phlegmatic. All right. So anybody have a comment or question before we close out? All right. Sounds good. I'm going to go ahead and end the recording at this time. Thank y'all so much. Enjoyed y'all.
Thank you.